In a quiet corner of a bustling city, Petar lived in the space between the notes. While his peers were chasing the latest trends, he was chasing the perfect pitch. His violin was not just an instrument, it was an extension of his soul, a wooden vessel for emotions that words were too clumsy to carry. He practiced until his fingers were calloused and the sun dipped below the horizon, dreaming of a stage that had no borders. The world was changing, and Petar knew that the old concert halls weren't the only places where music could live. One evening, he set up a single camera, took a deep breath, and began to play a modern pop anthem on his classical strings. The juxtaposition was electric. With a trembling hand, he hit the upload button, sending his melody into the vast, unpredictable ocean of the digital world. Success didn't arrive with a roar. It arrived with a hum. His mentor, Stefan, watched the numbers climb with a knowing smile. Stefan told him that a brand wasn't just a logo or a color scheme. It was the promise of a feeling. He encouraged Petar to stop playing for the algorithm and start playing for the person on the other side of the glass. "Give them your heart, Petar," Stefan said, "and they will give you their ears." The journey was grueling. For every viral hit, there were weeks of silence and hours of technical glitches. Petar spent his nights learning the language of lighting and the rhythm of video editing. He realized that to be a modern artist, he had to be his own director, producer, and publicist. The violin remained his center, but the digital tools became his symphony. Then came the morning the world woke up to his music. A cover he had recorded in his living room had crossed the threshold of millions. His phone was a persistent heartbeat of notifications, likes, shares, and comments in languages he couldn't speak, but emotions he understood perfectly. He wasn't just a boy with a violin anymore. He was a global resonance. As his following grew into the millions, Petar began to craft his digital identity with precision. He chose locations that breathed life into his music: ancient ruins, neon-lit streets, and mountaintops. He wasn't just making videos. He was creating cinematic experiences. Every frame was designed to complement the staccato of his bow and the vibrato of his spirit. The digital world offered a unique kind of intimacy. Petar would read messages from people thousands of miles away who found solace in his strings during their darkest hours. He realized that his brand was a bridge. He was connecting the classical heritage of the past with the fast-paced energy of the future, proving that a 400-year-old instrument still had plenty to say. One afternoon, he met Elena, a young fan who had traveled across the country just to hear him play in person. She told him that his videos were the reason she started learning music. In that moment, the millions of followers became more than just a number on a screen. They became faces, stories, and a community built on the shared language of melody. Wealth and fame were the byproducts, but the true success was the freedom to create. Petar stood in his high-tech home studio, surrounded by the best equipment money could buy. Yet he felt the same spark he had felt in that quiet corner years ago. The digital stage was infinite, and he was its architect, constantly redesigning the way the world experienced sound. Today, the name Petar is synonymous with a new era of artistry. He continues to upload, to play, and to inspire. As he draws his bow across the strings for a new recording, he knows the music will travel further than he ever could. The symphony of the screen is never ending, and as long as there is a heartbeat and a signal, Petar will be there to play the soundtrack.